Hi, my name is Dan. Today's Wednesday, 11th of June, and it's 2:22 p.m. As you can see, I have $3,826 in my account. I've made this amount over the past 2 weeks, and right now I'm going to show you step by step exactly how this system works so that you will be able to trade exactly like I do using this system. The first thing you need to do is to click on the Trading tab. I'm selecting the Euro-USD currency pair, but you can select any currency pair available. As you can see here, you have what is called the Sentiment tool, which is a social trading tool that tells you what direction the majority of traders are trading at the moment. Now, the easiest way to explain this tool would be to compare it to Facebook likes, for example. If you see a lot of people liking a certain page, you know this page has something in it. This tool works for me exactly the same way when I'm trading. I choose to always follow at the same direction what the majority of traders are trading, using the data I collect from this tool. But that doesn't mean the majority of traders will always be right, and you will soon learn how my strategy covers all sorts of situations which you can encounter when trading. Okay, the first step of the system is checking the direction the majority of traders are trading using the Sentiment tool. As you can see, 3% of traders are saying the price will go up, and 97% are stating it will go down. So, right now, as the tool shows, the majority of traders are saying the Euro-USD is going to go down, so I'm going to follow them and trade with a put or down button. The second step is entering the amount. We'll select Other, and we'll enter the amount of $12 here, and click Buy. Let's hit View Position button, and we're on. Now, I'm trading the Euro-USD, but as I said, you can select any currency pair that you feel comfortable with. Let's take a moment and look at the currency pair we're trading. Right here we got the currency pair, my investment and the rate of the currency pair I'm trading. We've got when the trade will expire. We can see the payout is $21.24, which is a 77% return on your investment. Now, as we're trading 30-minute trades, it could get a little boring for you. I will now pause the video and come back to you before the trade expires. Welcome back. The trade we submitted earlier is now going to expire. And here you can see the payout for the trade again, and that is $21.24. Now, no matter what happens here as we wait for this trade to expire, the key thing is not to get excited, no matter whether your trade is going to win or lose. See, it doesn't really matter. You're always looking at the bigger picture. This is very important for me to emphasize. If you're here just to win one trade, you're in the wrong business. You have to keep your emotions separate from your trading session and concentrate on the strategy. Remember, as long as you're trading in the same direction as the majority of traders, you know you have an advantage. That advantage is that you are a consistent trader who is sticking to one strategy and not deviating from it, just because you might feel like it for a moment. Now, this trade was successful. I won the $21.24, which means I have made a profit of $9.24. My account balance up here automatically updates in real time, so you can see my new balance. I can check my trade history at any time, and I want to show that to you right now. So, if I click on the My Account tab at the top of the screen and then click on the Trade History button, you will see a list of all my trades that have been submitted. This shows all the information regarding all the trades we've done. So let's scroll right down to the bottom of the list, and here you see our winning $12 trade that we just submitted. Now we've got a lot of information about the trade here. We got the amount that we traded, the currency pair, the execution time, the rate, and as you can see, this was a winning trade. So we also see the payout amount, which in this case was $21.24 for a profit of $9.24. So, since I won the last trade, what I'll do now is start with step 1 all over again. So, we'll click back at the trading. I'm going to stick with trading Euro-USD. I'm going to look at the Sentiment tool to see what direction most traders are trading. As you can see, 82% saying it will go up and 18% are saying it's going to go down. So we're going to stick with the majority. Let's click on the Up Call button, enter the amount of $12, click Buy. Let's hit View Position button, and we're on. Again, down here you can see all the information regarding your current trade. Now, if I win this trade, I'll simply go back to step 1 and 2 again and continue making these small $9.24 profits, which will add up to a nice amount of money as long as I don't lose a trade. Since I'm trading in the same direction as the majority of traders, it can take a while to lose a trade and could get a little boring for you, but don't let this tempt you into deviating from the system. Once I lose a trade, I'll just move on to step 3. What does step 3 involve? It involves a $28 trade, enough to recoup your $12 loss from the first trade and the $28 investment of the second trade, and still generate a profit of $9.56 on top of it, and will stay in the black. Now, I really do hope this trade will be an unsuccessful trade, not because I like losing. I simply want to have an opportunity to show you the full steps of the system. Now, a lot of traders ask me, can I use this strategy to trade on different platforms? The simple answer is, yes, you can try. But you should know that each platform works a bit differently, and I've only tested this particular strategy with the Stockpair platform. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again. Be back with you in just a few moments. Welcome back. Okay, the trade we submitted earlier is now going to expire. Okay, so this was like a losing trade. You see, the payout is 0. I'm going to check my trade history again by clicking on the My Account tab at the top of the screen. Let me go ahead and click on the Trade History button, and you will see a list of all my trades that have submitted. Scroll right down to see our trades. You can see the payout was 0, and this was the losing trade we were waiting for. Immediately, I'm moving on to the next step. Click on the Trading tab. Okay, as the last trade of $12 was a losing trade, I'm immediately moving on to step 3, and I'm submitting my second trade of $28. So we check the sentiment tool, and as you can see, the majority of traders are saying it is going to go down. Now, if you really stop to think about it, the sentiment tool is a tool which gives you an insight into what other traders are doing. See, they did all the homework for you. They got up in the morning, read graphs and the newspapers, made their analysis for the day, and you just sit there taking advantage of this information and only worry about managing your investments correctly. Now, it is true, the traders could be wrong, but even if you lose a trade here and there, you can still recoup your investment on the next trade. Remember, try to keep the global picture in perspective. Okay, now let's focus back to our trade. Let's click on the Down Put button, enter the amount of $28 here, and click Buy. Hit the View Position button, and we're on. We're back trading again. Scroll down to see all the information regarding the trade again. You see our payout of $49.56 if we win this trade. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that you cannot make any changes to the steps. There is one exception to this rule that will work and could make you a lot more money. You can increase the value of the trades for each step by a factor of 10 or 100. For example, Step 2, the $12 trade. I can replace this with a $120 trade. Step 3, the $28 trade, I can replace with a $280 trade, and so on. I will show you an example of this at the end of the video. But first, let's talk about an important point about this strategy, especially when you're trading binary options, and that is the speed at which you enter into the trade. As soon as you lose a trade, don't hesitate for a second. You have to quickly follow up by continuing on to the next step in order to recoup your loss and catch that currency fluctuation. I will show you an example of this at the end of the video. But for right now, let's go ahead and pause the video again, and I'll be back before this trade expires. Welcome back. The trade we submitted earlier is now going to expire. It looks like it's going to be a winning trade. You can see the payout here of $49.56, and if we look up here, we can see the account balance has automatically updated. So let's go ahead and check my trade history again by clicking on the My Account tab. Then I click on the Trade History button, and again, we've got this list of all my trades that have submitted. Scroll down and we'll see our first $12 trade, which again in review was a losing trade, and the next is our $28 trade. You can see we won this trade with a payout of $49.56, and an overall profit of $9.56. So what do? That's right, we start with step 1 all over again. So we'll click back up to the Trading tab. I'm selecting Euro USD and look at the Sentiment tool to see what direction most traders are trading. As you can see, a 47% 53% split. So we'll click on the Down Put button and go with the direction of the traders. We'll enter the amount of $12 here and click Buy, hit View Position, and we're on to the next trade. Now, again, over here is where you can see all the information about the trade. But we're going to pause the video for just a couple of minutes, and we'll come back to it before the trade expires. Welcome back. The trade we submitted earlier is now going to expire. And there it goes. This was a losing trade. Notice we've got a 0 payout. I'm going to check my trade history again by clicking on the My Account tab at the top of the screen. Then I click on the Trade History button, and we've got the full list of all the trades that we've done. And if we look at the bottom of the trades, you can see our payout was 0, and this was a losing trade. So what are we going to do? Yeah, as quickly as possible, we're going to move on to the next step, which is step 3. We'll click back up at the Trading tab. And since the last trade of $12 was a losing trade, our step 3 is a trade of $28. So we check the Sentiment tool quick. You can see the majority of traders are saying it's going to go down. We'll click on the Down Put button, enter the amount of $28 here, and click Buy, hit View Position button, and we're on. We'll look over here and take a glance at all the information regarding our trade. We can see our $49.50 payout if we win this trade. And let's take this time to discuss what might be the next trade, which would be step number 4 if we lose this trade. And if we lose this $28 trade, the next trade will be a $70 trade, which will bring in a profit of $53.90. Again, this is enough to cover your $40 in total losses from the $12 trade and the $28 trade, and still make a profit of $13.90 on top of it. So, as you can see, I'm always taking into concern the possibility of a loss, as well as a win, and I'm always prepared for any situation which I might encounter. This way, it doesn't matter whether I win or lose, and it doesn't affect my emotions, which is crucial when trading. Let's go and pause the video and come back before this trade expires, and I'll talk to you soon. Welcome back. The trade we submitted earlier is now going to expire, and it looks like it's going to be a losing trade. You can see the payout is 0, so again this was another losing trade. We'll click on the My Account tab, we'll click on Trade History, scroll down, and we can see the $28 trade. We can see it was indeed a losing trade. As you can see, the payout again is 0. Immediately, I'm moving on to the next step we just talked about. Click on the Trading tab again. I'm selecting Euro USD and look at the Sentiment tool to see what direction most traders are trading. As you can see, 43% are saying it will go up and 57% are saying it's going to go down. So let's click on the Down Put button, enter the amount of $70 here, and click Buy. Let's hit View Position button, and we're on. Now quickly we'll take a glance at the trade information. One more thing I want to talk about is patience. Sometimes there has to be a lot of patience in trading. If I check all the currency pairs available and I see the ranges are all too tight, for example, if the Sentiment tool is indicating that 50% are saying it will go up and 50% are saying it will go down, I do not trade this currency pair. As I said before, I look at all the currency pairs available as I'm just trading with the majority of traders following the Sentiment tool. I do not care which currency pair I'm trading. So if Euro USD is 50-50, I do not trade it. But if Euro Pound is 70-30, I will trade this currency pair instead. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and pause the video again and return before the trade is going to expire. Welcome back. So great, it looks like this trade is going to be an unsuccessful one, and not that I'm happy about it, but for the sake of this video, I really want you to experience the full steps of this system. And since I'm trading at the same direction as the majority of the traders, it can take a while until I can actually get to the last step of the system, because the majority of the traders don't tend to be wrong so many times in a row. Yes, okay, this was a losing trade after all. We'll go ahead and click on My Account. We click on Trade History. Scroll down and we can see the $70 trade we submitted and that it was indeed a losing trade, showing us a payout of 0. So I'll quickly prepare for the next trade of the system. Now this trade should come in, because as you've probably seen from the earlier parts of the video, it is unlikely that the majority of the traders will be wrong so many times in a row, and this trade should cover my loss from before and add a small profit on top of it as well. So we'll click on the Trading tab, we'll select Euro USD, we'll look at the Sentiment tool. Now remember, the Sentiment tool is the most important point of this trading strategy. Don't skip it. This is very accurate. You must always check the Sentiment tool for every trade you submit using my strategy. And with Stockpair, because they have so many people trading at the same time on their platform, the Sentiment tool can be a very reliable tool to use. As you can see, 1% of traders are saying it will go up and 99% is saying it's going to go down. This is a great split, so we click on the Down Put button, enter the amount of $150, that's our step 4, and click Buy. We'll hit View Position, and we're on. We'll look over here and see that we have a $150 trade open. Now this trade is very likely to win with that split we saw, and since I've been trading at the same direction of the majority of the traders, and since I've been consistent during my strategy, along with the fact that the majority of traders really don't tend to be wrong that many times in a row, this trade should come in. This trade will pay out $265.50, and that is going to help us in a number of ways. We'll recoup the $12 loss from the first trade, the $28 investment of the second trade, the $70 from the third trade, the $150 from the fourth trade, and generate a profit of $5.50 on top of it, and stay in the black. How great is that? Okay, so this trade will expire at exactly 6:05, and as we are trading 30-minute options, I will come back just before the trade expires. Let's pause the video once again, and I'll be back with you in a few moments. Welcome back. Okay, the trade we submitted earlier in step 4 is now going to expire. And there you go. The payout is $265.50 for this trade. You can see the payout for this trade will be $265.50. I'm going to check my trade history again. I'm going to click on My Account. I'm going to click on Trade History, and again, here is a list of all my trades that have been submitted. This shows all the information we need to know, so let's take the opportunity to review all of our steps again. Here was the first trade for $12. We had a put-down trade, and this trade had a 0 payout because it was a losing trade. Our second trade for $28 was a put-down trade, and this trade also had a 0 payout. It was a losing trade. Then we've got our third trade for $70, and we created a put-down trade, and this trade had a 0 payout as well because it was a losing trade. So then we moved on to step 4. That was $150. It was a put-down trade, and this was the winning payout, $265.50, giving me an overall profit of $5.50. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start all over again with step 1 and 2 and submit my first trade of $12 all over again. We'll go back up here, we'll take a look at my account balance. It is automatically updated, and now I have a balance of $3,850.30 using my strategy. All right, I mentioned this earlier in the video that you can increase the value of the trades for each step by a factor of 10 or 100. Now, doing this seriously increases your profit by a factor of 10 and 100, and once you get the hang of this, I would highly recommend you implement this. For example, step 2, the $12 trade. I can replace this with a $120 trade. Step 3, the $28 trade, I can replace with a $280 trade, and so on. So instead of making just $9.24 on your first trade, step 2, you would make a nice $92.40. I will now show you exactly how to do this. I'm now going to submit a $120 trade at step 2 instead of a $12 trade like we've been doing. You can see on the top my account balance is $3,850.30, and it is 11:52 a.m. on the 12th of June. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Trading tab, we'll select Euro USD, As you can see, 8% of the traders are saying the currency pair will go up and 92% are saying it's going to go down. Since we're working with 30-minute trades with my strategy, we need to make a change here. We're going to click here and change this option and select in the next 30 minutes. The majority of traders are still saying the price will go down. Let's click on the down put button, enter the amount of $120 here, and click buy. Let's hit the view position button, and we're on. Down here is all the information regarding your trade. Here you can see when the trade will expire, which is 12:24, and as we're trading 30-minute options using this strategy, like before, I'm going to step aside for just a moment and I'll come back before the trade expires. Okay, let's pause the video again and I'll be back with you in a few moments. All right, welcome back. You know, I had a trader contact me this morning and he said, what if the trade ties? What this means is you do not win the trade and you do not lose the trade. The expiry value of the trade was exactly the same as when you entered the trade. If you tie on any steps other than the final step, you continue to the next step. If you tie on the final step, you simply return to the first step. Okay, so we're back to the trade we submitted earlier, and it's going to expire soon. It looks like it's going to be a winning trade. The payout will be a whopping $212.40, giving me an overall profit of $92.40. So let's take a moment and check my trade history again. We'll click on the Account tab. I'm going to click on the Trade History button, and here you can see a list with all the trades that have been submitted. This shows all the information regarding your trades. Here you can see the trade for $120, and we created a put-down trade. And this was a winning trade, and the payout was $212.40, giving me an overall profit of $92.40 in just 30 minutes using my strategy. Remember just a couple of things. I'm trading the Euro-USD currency pair, but remember you can trade any currency pair available. Now, for those of you who are still not sure whether this system works or not, what I suggest you do is pretty simple. Open an account with Stockpair and just give it a try for yourself. You'll find that watching this video especially has pretty much prepared you to start making money right from the start. You've seen exactly how my system works, and you know what to do in case of a loss or a win. Now all you need is the experience of doing it on your own, and soon you'll quickly understand what a great opportunity trading binary options with my system is for increasing your monthly income from home, or from the beach, or from McDonald's. You can do this wherever you happen to be with your computer and an internet connection. So, I just want to encourage you to give it a shot. Sign up for your free account today and see what happens. And let me know if there's anything I can do for you and if this works.